I think what sets Global Brigades apart from other organizations is the fact that it's a student-led organization, and it really caters to students because it's led by students.
And any organization where people are literally, volunteers are literally bringing their the school supplies and the medical supplies with them on the plane and delivering them directly to the community is what makes the difference.
I think the most important thing about Global Brigades and why I was really interested in getting involved is that it really takes on a holistic approach to development work, and they really work themselves out of a job, which I really appreciate from it. It's really all about empowering people in the community as well as empowering students and volunteers.
The holistic model, every single brigade complements the other brigade extremely well. It just goes to show that these Global Brigades really knows what they're doing. You know, they get it, and they're evolving. There's a constant evolution that you see with Global Brigades to deal with the changing face of poverty and the changing issues of poverty in the third world.
Typically what happens is when a community is selected, the medical brigade comes in, and what they do is they set up a database for all of the community members, and meanwhile, while the medical brigade isn't there, other brigades usually come and visit, and then you can see the improvement and how much of an impact these other brigades have also had on the community.
We do have a treatment aspect in medical brigades where we provide the urgent medical care to kind of help fix the immediate problems that people come with. People don't know that medical brigades also has a really large preventative approach to healthcare. So we have charlas where we educate the people of the community on how to carry out good health. So in the sense how to, brush their teeth. So the dental brigades has a whole charla where they teach children how to brush their teeth. Little simple things like that. We make sure that we have these kind of preventative approaches integrated within our medical clinic. So although medical brigades is kind of the first step in this sustainable model, it ensures that there's still prevention kind of being incorporated into it, and that's really important for us as volunteers to know that hopefully we're not seeing the same patient over again. Hopefully we've made a difference where this patient who had a very preventative disease, does not come back to medical clinic again.
So Water Brigades is great because providing clean water is essential for healthy living. So where we were at specifically, we saw that they were getting their water from a river, and there can be a lot of health risks associated with that. So providing a community with chlorinated water is really great for disease prevention, and with a community having clean water, it would lower the amounts of disease that they would see in the medical clinics, allowing them to treat other illnesses.
The Public Health Brigade provides infrastructure to individual family homes. So we go into the homes and we work with the families to build latrines, showers, these pilas, which are water storage units, an eco stove, and concrete floors. We lay concrete floors. These projects tackle the preventative side of medicine. So by giving them a place to safely go to the bathroom, and the pila, the water storage unit, means they have a safe place to store their water. So once the water brigade comes in and gives them water, what good is it if the water is clean but every bucket that they're using is dirty and filthy and full of germs? So this pila addresses that need. The stove means it's very well ventilated, they're not breathing in fumes from the smoke. They put in concrete floors to prevent people from sleeping straight on the dirt floors, so that parasites and different things can't get at them while they're sleeping. The Public Health Brigade does other infrastructure projects like that to help prevent a lot of the treatments.
Part of the issue in rural Honduras is that there is no paperwork. No one has a line of credit. No one has access to the big banks. No one has anything that they can put forward to get a loan. So there's no collateral, etc., etc. So the little community puts its money together. People become members. The amount of money they pay every year to be a member becomes capitalization, and they can give out loans to buy fertilizer for their next crop. Many of these are very short-term loans. As you can imagine, crops grow very quickly, but if you're able to buy fertilizer, double your yield, and sell your crop that much and it's double, you can pay back your loan and you've got money left over. The other important component again is savings. Savings is not, because you're living week to week, meal to meal, savings is not something that is innate in the language or the activity of the community. So we do a lot of work in really pushing that concept, and it's really, really important for education. Mothers are really interested in getting their children past grade 6, and to do that they have to have some money in the bank. So credit unions can do scholarships, credit unions can do a whole bunch of things to help facilitate that process.
The Architecture Brigade ties into Global Brigade's holistic model, and that it's kind of the final step of the entire holistic model. So they're building educational centers as well as medical centers that the Hondurans can use with their own doctors and their own employees in order to provide them with the medical care and educational system that they need and that is suited to their country. So this kind of allows them to finalize the entire process that Global Brigades has formed, and to become completely independent of the company and to kind of separate from the company and start doing things their own way.
And really the goal of Global Brigades is to leave every community with a component of all of this, a healthy community that can take reign and of its own future. And that's what I love, that we're there, we do what we need to do, we educate, we give resources, and then we leave, because it's not our job to tell them really how to run their community.
I think the most important thing I learned was that change can come in micro-understanding. So essentially, when students go on these organizations, they inevitably want to see, big changes, and they want to see the fruits of their labor, and they want to see they revolutionize things. But I think GB's taught me that little things and little changes are just as important as seeing big changes. So that when I give a man on Global Brigades who's 70 years old, like crutches, I feel just as empowered and feel like I helped out in that community just as much as if I built, say, a house.
My favorite brigade memory was on my first brigade, on the medical dental brigade, and I had a day in gynecology. And the gynecologist who was with us that year from Canada, she brought an ultrasound machine, and there was a lady and she came in and she was about, I think 7 or 8 months pregnant. In Honduras, women aren't provided with services that allow them to know that their baby's okay or that their baby's heart is beating. So when the gynecologist did the actual ultrasound, just the look of relief and content and gratitude on the mother's face to know that her baby was okay was the best experience I've ever had.
But the thing that really affected me the most, and I think my favorite memory, was when we come back from Global Brigades, our trip to Honduras, we have one final meeting. And this meeting features everyone, and we all just sit in a circle and we just go around and we just take turns and we talk. Just talk about our experience that we had down there and our thoughts on development work and just anything that we want to bring up. And that is always my favorite day of the year. Like, forget Christmas, like just coming and listening to 100 people who were so naive before they came about development work. I knew nothing about anything before I went down there. And coming back, and they're educated and they're passionate and they're inspired, and it's the best thing about Global Brigades is the fire that it ignites.
It really opened my eyes to the poverty that's down there, but not only the poverty, but how amazing the people are. Incredible people with incredible work ethics, and it was just a great experience to learn more about Honduras and to learn more about development work in general.
I think the single most important thing that I learned is that the people of Honduras are no different than any Canadian here, that they have the same dreams and aspirations and the same wishes that we do. They have just as many skills, just as much intelligence, and just as much ability to succeed, but they just happen to be born in a country that doesn't provide them with the opportunity that we're provided with. And I think that Global Brigades gives them a much better opportunity to be able to reach those goals that we have the ability to reach, and to be able to get those opportunities that we've always been given and the privilege that we were born into.
There's a lot of knowledge-based things that I learned, but I think the most incredible thing was, you think you understand international development. You think you know poverty when you're in Canada. You turn on the TV and you watch those specials and you see people who are homeless on the street, and you think you get it. You don't get it until you go down there and you really experience it. Don't be fooled into thinking that we don't get anything out of this experience. We come back and we see just how happy these people in Honduras are, and we learn a whole lot from them. And I try to incorporate that in my day-to-day life. They have nothing and they're so much happier than us, and they're happy for the right reasons. They're happy because they have a roof over their heads, they sometimes have food in their bellies, and they have people in the world that love them. I really hope that people understand that Global Brigades isn't this feel-good organization where students go down there and they hold the kid's hand and they come back and they say that they're all changed. You know, that's not really the way that it is. We go and we work, and it's exhausting, and we work with the community, and we share our culture with them, and they share theirs with us, and we're exhausted, and we get dirty, and you know, we have to fundraise hard to get there, and it's not a walk in the park for us by any means. And when we say all the things that we say and how we've changed and how it's affected us, it has. That's not a lie. That's not made up. That's the truth. And I'm really proud to be a part of an organization that facilitates that.